Welcome everyone to another episode of Cinema Game Night, where we review movies by playing games. I'm Curtis.
And I'm Roger.
And we disagree on a lot.
But we agree on just enough to be
best friends. All right, so thank you to everyone who watched our first episode, the very few of you who have. There's still time for it to reach everyone. What I'm doing right now is kind of just keeping it on YouTube, but I think I will expand to like Spotify, stuff like that. It's just deciding on if it's a worthwhile venture / investment to do that. But yeah, we're gonna keep going, keep pushing, and hopefully people discover this and be like, hey, why wasn't I watching this from the beginning? And then they go back,
This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was trying to find the proper audience here. But all right, so tonight we are going to do what we are going to be doing in the future and playing a different game. We have a lot of different formats, and last week we played Movie Mashup. Tonight we are going to play the Urban Legend game. And the way that is going to work is I am going to read Roger an urban legend regarding filmmaking. He needs to decide if it's one that I made up or one that has actually been like in pop culture. And then we will talk about that urban legend or that movie or both. But in the meantime, though, we do have some one-sentence reviews to do.
We do. It's for a movie that we both saw relatively recently. I saw it last week.
Yes, very recently. I think I saw it probably also last week. Yeah, I saw a lot of newer movies last week. I had a lot of time to do that, so I was very thankful I did. But last week...
Should we tell them what the movie is, or should we just give the reviews and see if they can figure it out?
I say we tell them what the movie is, yeah.
Okay.
We'll save the guessing for when there's an actual game that we're playing. But yeah, okay. The movie is Mickey 17.
Not Mickey 16.
Nor 18.
Not Mickey's 1 through 15.
No. They can all go die. Mickey 17. That's who we're talking about. And by say they can all go die, that's not a threat, YouTube. It's literally a part of the movie.
To the other Mickeys.
It's literally a part of the movie.
If you are Mickey 1 through 15, this is not that was not referring to you.
Well, I mean, it's all Mickey. It's like the substance. He is the Matrix. Kind of. Okay, whatever.
But the real question is whether Mickey is so fine.
Did he blow anyone's mind, do you think?
Oh, Mickey. Oh.
Hey, Mickey.
I don't know.
I don't know. Me neither. I'm sure that Robert Pattinson has blown several minds.
Technically, there was someone who had their mind blown by Mickey.
Yes, true, technically. Someone who had everything else blown by Mickey as well. Spoilers, correct. I guess, but like the one sentence
spoilers alert. I guess
the one sentence reviews are spoilery. So like, if you watch this just for the games, just fast forward the one sentence reviews because this part it will get a little spoilery. But how many did you come up with this time?
6.
Awesome, because I came up with 7.
How many do I need to pass? And how many do I need to pass?
6.
100.
But I actually have 7, so that's perfect. I was like, oh, I bet he'll have like 3 or 4. Nah, we almost have the exact same amount. All right, so I will be going first again.
All right.
Are we ready?
Ready to go. Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. Our one-sentence reviews of Mickey 17. A movie that ponders what dying feels like, but it's a Bong Joon-ho movie, so the answer is being poor.
Is that what most of his movies do? I don't even know anything about the director.
Well, have you seen Parasite?
Oh, is that the same director?
Same guy. Yep. This is his follow-up.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? And like he also did Snowpiercer, the Snowpiercer movie. Did you watch that?
I didn't see that one.
Okay, that one's really good. Chris
Parasite
Evans is
genius.
the star. But like, all 3 of these movies that I've mentioned, like Mickey 17, Parasite, Snowpiercer, they all involve class warfare of some sort. Like,
yeah,
it's just a theme he likes to explore.
This one was more evident, like more like in your face as to that it was class warfare.
I agree with that, yeah.
All right. I have Batman and Edward Cullen team up to best Bruce Banner in an unnecessary war on an alien planet.
Batman and Edward Cullen. I see what you did there.
Correct.
Yes.
Hopefully they do too.
I think so. Which my next sentence is in regard to talking about what we were just talking about. Come expecting a follow-up to Parasite. Leave expecting a follow-up to Parasite. Because it's a completely different... Like, you know, there's some similar themes that are explored, of course, but it's a completely different movie to Parasite. Like,
Right.
This one is a lot more like, you know, it's sci-fi, bigger budget,
Right.
more world building, whereas, like, you know, Parasite's a lot more grounded.
Yeah, and like more like this could really happen in theory.
Yeah. But with this, and like, I don't mean that as like a negative against the movie. You know, as a follow-up to Parasite, like, I'm glad we got something that was, you know, so different, yet I guess a little familiar in terms of, like, you know, you've seen this director before and he's touched on these themes before.
Yeah, no, I didn't even make that connection that it was a Korean. He's Korean, right? Korean
Yeah,
movie?
yeah, he's Korean.
Yeah, I didn't even make that connection. But I like the movie nonetheless. All right, my next one.
Yes.
The question is not where is the beef, but where's the sauce?
Yeah. The sauce.
Where's the sauce?
So, like, it's people, right? That's... She uses people to make the sauce, right? Unless...
I don't
You
know
know-
if it's using people.
I'm pretty sure the sauce is just, like, supposed to be metaphorical anyway. For, like, you know, she's trying to find a perfect sauce, you know, like a perfect world, perfect people, dare I say perfect race,
Everything.
but maybe...
I mean, I don't think you have to dare say it. They do.
True. I mean, they
you
dared...
don't have to
They
dare
dare
say
said
it.
whatever
They-
they wanted.
Yeah, they dare say it themselves.
Yeah, yeah. Shall I
All right.
do my next one?
Go
All right.
for
A movie that fulfills every twihard's fantasy by entertaining the idea of a three-way with two Robert Pattinsons.
it. Yes. I mean, but that's circa like what, 2009, right? 2009, 2010 is when...
2008, I think, was when the first one came out. It was either 2008 or 9.
Right.
I think
but,
it was
like,
8.
Like, the love for him... Right, but like the love for him then persisted throughout the early teens of the 2000s, the 2010s.
Yeah, that's like they all the Twilight fans, you know, mainstream teenage movie going audiences loved him, and then when that was over, then like the art house people loved him, and
Right.
now I think everybody does. Like, I feel like Robert Pattinson's at a point where like everybody appreciates him as an actor.
Yeah, just really enjoys his like work. I agree. Let's see what I've got next. A movie where you enjoy it so much that you don't realize it is actually trying to have an actual philosophical conversation about identity and autonomy.
Yeah, it's true. There was a lot that this movie was trying to say, like a lot of different topics, a lot of different metaphors, and I think most of them were, you know, most of them they nailed. Maybe
Right.
a couple
agree.
of them weren't quite as touched on as much. I honestly kind of wanted them to touch a little bit more on the mortality aspect. They certainly did, of course, but like that kind of just led into another, you know, like the question, you know, what's it like
Right.
to die? And it's like, oh, you know, it's terrible every single time. But then it kind of
Right.
went from there into a different topic. You know what I mean? So maybe it was a
Yeah.
little loaded, but I didn't think it was overloaded or anything. I still really
No, I
enjoyed
didn't think
this
it
movie.
was too much.
Yeah.
And I don't
yeah.
think it was like a loaded potato or anything.
So I got this one right here. Mark Ruffalo's character reminds you that Hollywood trying to warn us about Trump didn't work. But you gotta admire their dedication at this point.
Yeah, because I feel like it's a little too late at this point.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And, like,
but
I
I see, yeah, no, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, and a lot of movies seem to have been trying, you know, the whole like populist politician kind of thing. But like I actually really liked his performance in this movie. Like obviously you know, there were Trump parallels to it, but like I thought he was really entertaining.
Yeah,
Actually, I'm actually gonna do my next one now because it's a
go
piggyback
for
off
it.
of that. Yeah, Mark Ruffalo's character also reminds you that he should only be doing weird movies from now on.
Yes, like what was the one with
Poor things.
Yes, what's that girl's name?
Is that Emma Stone?
The
Just
her. Yes,
we're still
that's
thinking of
not
Poor
Hermione,
Things. Yeah.
right? Yeah, that's
No,
Easy A.
that's Emma
Easy A.
Watson.
See,
Yeah,
I get all the Emmas
Easy A
confused.
is
Emma
Emma
Roberts,
Stone.
Emma
Yeah.
Watson, Emma
Emma
Stone.
Emma
They're all
Roberts
Emmas.
is Unfabulous and Scream 4 to me. That's the role I picture her in with Emma Roberts, even though she's been
The
in a ton of
Emmys,
stuff. Yeah,
the Emmys, all of it.
lots of Emmas.
All right, what do I got? What do I got? A guy signs up to be an NPC or the cabbage cart in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
It's like every single one of them is a
cabbages!
cabbage.
My cabbages.
And he just keeps showing up with, yeah, it's like they keep trying. Wow, it is like the cabbage guy because it's like he tries it
He's
here
the cabbage
and then,
cart.
but then like the cabbage cart is back somehow and he's trying again and then it's back and he just keeps trying. And in Legend of Korra, there's an entire cabbage like corporation. Like he worked his way up, so I guess both Mickey and the cabbage guy had worked out for.
Yes, eventually. At the end.
I like that you made that comparison. Since I skipped ahead, did you want to do it or go to my next one?
Sure, I got one.
Okay, all right.
A movie that has actual important themes being told through comedy, drama, warfare, and some sexual tension.
Again, entertaining that idea of the Robert Pattinson three-way. I'm really entertaining it.
Yeah, no, very much so. Actually, well, yes, with the particular actress, she's the same actress that's in the Zoe Kravitz directed movie
Blink Twice.
with Channing Tatum.
The one that we talked about last week. Yeah, Blink Twice.
Yeah,
Yeah. We're starting to become pretty big fans. But
oh, that's a great movie.
do you remember Gemini Man, the Will Smith movie?
I never ended up seeing it.
Well, me neither, but you saw that it was supposed to be like him fighting a de-aged version of himself. And it cost a ton of money, but the technology wasn't always very good. The two Robert Pattinsons looked great in this movie.
Right.
Like seamless. They did a good job
Right.
duplicating him. But anyway, I'll move on to my next one. Yeah. The same movie that brings you some of the ickiest things you've ever seen in the form of slimy humans being born out of an MRI machine and several instances of vomiting blood will also somehow bring you the cutest thing you've ever seen in the form of fuzzy roly-poly puppies piling Robert Pattinson to safety.
That scene is actually very funny.
Literally,
That scene's actually very cute.
every time I think about that scene, I just smile because it's just so cute. Like all of these little roly-poly creatures just making piles and squeaking to get Robert Pattinson to safety. Like it's so cute.
They saved him. They don't eat people.
Yeah, we want a creeper. We want to raise one.
I don't know if they want to be raised.
No, probably
most
not.
creatures don't want to be captured.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what I have. A movie. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we had to evolve wolves to make them okay with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Well, I mean, they're better off now. I think. Dogs are usually better off. A movie about war where the character's personal Kama Sutra holds the key.
Well, that is an interesting.
C5, right? What was it?
Back to
C5 or
this-
C3?
Oh, why did I
That's what I'm
forget
talking
that?
about.
Why did I forget about
Yeah.
that? Thank you for bringing that up. Wow, they saved the
C3.
day with a personal Kama Sutra. Wow,
Their
they
personal
actually
Kama Sutra.
did that.
That was what helped the
How
key
did I
to
forget that?
victory.
That part was so funny. How did I forget that?
It's like the most important part of the movie.
Yeah,
It's literally-
it's like during the climax. No pun intended. Like that's.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
Exactly.
Man, I gotta watch this movie again. Like,
Yeah.
but
I liked the
Yeah,
relationship between Nasha and Mickey.
yeah, I mean, again,
And
that
also,
part got
it
a
did
little
show
weird,
some
but
good range.
yes,
It also showed some really good range on Pattinson's role.
Definitely. I like the idea of like, two people, everyone's got kind of like different people in them, a more assertive person and a
Jekyll
more
and
reserved
Hyde.
person, and literally split them in two. And it's like, here's his more reserved self. Here's his, I'm going to mess everything up. Let's fight the system self. And like literally warring with each other, but like outside of his mind and in real life. I do like that idea.
Right. Yeah. No, I really enjoyed that too. It's like, I wanted Mickey 18 to be how he was in the Batman. That's what I wanted.
So a little more brooding
Yes.
and less
Which
snarky.
is weird because he was pretty brooding in the Batman.
It was very, very brooding in the Batman.
I am vengeance. What are you?
I am
Vengeance.
I am the Black Parade. Emo
I
Batman.
am Mickey 1.
Look at me. I am Mickey now. Now we're just throwing in all the superhero movies.
I'm the Mickey now. I'm the Mickey now. Look at me. I'm the Mickey now. That was my very terrible. I apologize for my incredibly terrible Mickey Mouse.
I'm gonna give him a pass for it. It wasn't that bad. For considering how deep your voice naturally is, I think it's a decent one. Right.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Come on, Pluto.
Waka waka.
So, wow, we're getting a little off topic here. I have
This
one
is
more.
already derailed.
Yeah, let's bring it home. I got one more. We finally have a good Expendables movie.
That one is punny. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Courtesy.
All right, so I accidentally locked my iPad, so got to unlock it. Okay, so let's dive into the game, shall we?
I say let's do it.
All right. So, like I said, we are playing the urban legend game. Now, Webster's dictionary defines an urban legend as an often lurid story or anecdote that is based on hearsay and widely circulated as true. So, urban legends are not true. And there have been several film urban legends that have floated into the consciousness of the public. So the point of this game is to not ask Roger, did this really happen or not? Nothing that I'm reading is true. These are all urban legends. The question he has to ask himself is, did I make up this urban legend so it's not an actual urban legend? Or is this a real one that a lot of people have fallen for? So it's up to him to find out what. It's mostly just a way to talk about urban legends with a little bit of a game twist to it. But I am going to... It's a yes or no thing, so it's like I give you a point for if you get it right. And you can take all the time you want to decide if you think it's a yes or a no. But I say let's
give myself a minute.
Well, I say let's go ahead and jump into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right. So this first one, you need to tell me if this is a real urban legend or one that I made up. In The Wizard of Oz, as Dorothy, the Scarecrow, and the Tin Man dance down the yellow brick road after Tin Man joins the group, the body of a depressed Munchkin actor can be seen hanging in the distance. Is that a real urban legend, or did I make that up?
I think you made that up.
Is that your final answer?
Yep, final answer. I think you made that up.
That is a real urban legend.
I've never heard that one, and I know most things about the Wizard
That's
of Oz.
surprising, because I put this as the first one because I thought you would already know that it's a real urban legend.
No. I know
but
most
yeah,
ones about the Wizard of Oz.
This one is real. This one's real. But I wrote down a bunch.
Didn't actually happen, but
no,
real
did not.
Urban legend.
So I wrote down info on this urban legend because I did, I was a history major when we went to college together, and I have enjoyed doing research for this episode. So for one thing, in the distance in that shot is a big bird. Like they dressed the set with some big birds, and that's what it is at the end of. But according to Snopes, The rumor likely started with the 1989 video re-release to celebrate the 50th anniversary, and their fact check goes all the way back to 1997. Like, that's how long ago Snopes fact checked this urban legend. And after that fact check, though, in like the earlier days of the internet, somebody actually doctored a video to make it look like there was a body hanging there. And that got circulated around the internet, and then everyone was like, oh, so like in the subsequent re-releases, they just, edited over it to make it disappear or something like that. But like I said, this has been debunked for decades, and when you think about that, any real critical thinking should have shut that down immediately, because like, you're telling me that if you think that this is true, you're telling me that an actor, and I have to be careful with how I phrase this because I don't want YouTube to demonetize or anything.
Right, like a miniature, like someone who was a dwarf or a miniature.
No, it's what the act of what they say they did.
Yes.
Yes.
Dangling. We can use the word dangling.
You mean to tell me that you believe that a person decided to commit this deed on camera while a take was going, none of the actors who are facing right in that direction scream or stop the take or yell for the director or anything, or the director himself doesn't see it and cut everything. Nobody on the set sees it at all. The editors do not see it. Like, there's probably multiple takes of this scene to begin with, and if there were multiple takes, they used that one if it was actually in it, and like, right. and that they would leave it in the movie for everybody to see, like all of, especially during the Hays Code. Like, no, there's no way. Like, any level of critical thinking would shut that down immediately, but people just really wanted it to be true for some reason, and like, also, so much bad stuff happened making that movie. Like, why do we need to make up another one? Like, it's
there was a lot of bad things that happened during that movie. That's very true.
Yes, and there's also actually another urban legend regarding the Wizard of Oz that I took down here, and that is that Margaret Hamilton's stunt double Betty Danko died while filming the broom skywriting scene. I have heard people say that she died. She straight up died. She didn't. Nobody actually died filming the Wizard of Oz. People may have gotten close.
People may have gotten close.
Yeah,
but no one actually died.
Yeah, like there was actually some truth to that urban legend, just a tiny bit. The biggest, variable is that she didn't die. But this is what happened.
Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Or as Andy on Parks and Rec said, close only counts in horse grenades. Anyway.
Yes.
So this is what actually happened. The accident was a pipe that would emit smoke at the push of a button was rigged to the broom she was riding on. And since the filmmakers wanted the witch's cape to blow in the breeze, they concealed the pipe under her body instead of under the cape. And so on the third take of it, the asbestos-coated pipe exploded. And she suffered... they coated it with asbestos, and she suffered a 2-inch gash around the circumference of her leg, requiring an 11-day hospitalization. And all of this info I got from the book, The Making of the Wizard of Oz by Algene Harmetz. And she also suffered another injury. Margaret Hamilton's face getting burned when the trapdoor... That actually happened, and... the stunt, and it was to Margaret Hamilton. The stunt double was injured after the dance director fell on her as she was positioned in the pit. That pit that was supposed to go, up and down in the Munchkin Land, preceding the Wicked Witch's first entrance. Like, when you first see the Wicked Witch on screen, it's not Margaret Hamilton, it's Betty Danko. But he was like advising the Munchkins, where not to go, and he fell on her. And her shoulders were sore for a while, and the studio paid for her to see a chiropractor. That was the result of it. Yes, as they should. But yeah, treat stunt people in Hollywood well. I think they should have an Oscar. Some people say they don't because it might encourage stunt performers to, do some very not safe things, like push themselves even further and risk serious harm to get an Oscar, but they're already doing that and not getting any recognition. So like
that is also true.
I heard
Point.
I think it was the Dead Meat podcast was talking about like, do you think Tom Cruise is actually going to like, if you give him an award, he's going to do anything worse than he's already doing? Like, you know, he's already going to do it.
It's like what they did with. It's like what they did with what's his name? Oh my gosh, not Tom Cruise. The one in The Revenant. Leonardo DiCaprio.
The one
when they're like, listen, this man fought a bear. Either you give him an Oscar, or next time, the bear's gonna win.
I mean, he didn't actually fight a bear. They know that, right?
I don't know.
But
that.
he
I
did.
wasn't there.
Apparently, that filming was pretty strenuous, though. So, like, he did put himself through a lot to get there. All right. So, next one. In the movie 3 Men and a Baby, you can see the ghost of a young boy who died in the house they filmed in, hiding behind some sheer curtains in the background of one scene. Is that
All right,
real
so
or is it fake?
The reason I know it's fake is because there's no such movie. No, I'm kidding. It's like, nope, I know it. There was no baby. That's how I know it was a lie. It was just 3 men. That's it. We 3 kings. That's the name of the movie. I'm gonna go with. You made that one up.
You think that one's not real?
Yeah, I think
And that's
you made it up.
final answer. Okay. That one is in fact real. That was a real urban legend.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put that
Maybe I
one
just
down.
don't trust you.
But yeah, in the movie, that one was you know, a long time ago. I started getting into like the you know, Hollywood ghost stories or just urban legends and filmmaking in general. And this was one of the first that I saw because I haven't seen 3 Men and a Baby. Obviously, you haven't because you don't even know it exists. It's got
Never heard of it.
Tom Selleck, Ted Danson, and Steve Guttenberg in it.
See, there ain't no person named Steve Guttenberg. See, now I know you lying.
There actually is. He was also in the, sorry Disney fans, I am one of you, the pretty bad when you think about it, Tower of Terror TV movie. If you enjoy it, if that's your thing, cool. It's not a very good movie, but if you can still enjoy it very well. He was in that. And during the LA fires,
people enjoy
he
things.
was, I'm letting them enjoy it. I'm just saying you're enjoying something that's
It's
not
not
that good, but I'm glad it brings you joy. That's what counts. But Steve Guttenberg during the LA fires was actually on the streets helping people, giving people water, like helping the firefight. Like he was down and dirty trying to help everyone in the LA fires. Because like there was a news anchor interviewing him, not knowing he was an actor. And
I do remember that. Was
yeah,
that him?
that was him.
I do remember that.
He was in 3 Men and a Baby.
That. Wow. Okay.
But anyway, I'll talk
Thank
about
you, Mr.
the
Gutenberg.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Gutenberg. But I'll talk about the actual like urban legend now. So you can't see this. I'm gonna impose a picture. You can't see this, Roger, but like you can look it up after this. In the background of a scene, like I think it's Ted Danson talking with another character, and there is a figure in some sheer curtains, but the figure is actually a cardboard cutout of Ted Danson's character used for a storyline that was eventually cut from the movie because Ted Danson's character in the movie is an actor. And I believe later in the movie, the cardboard cutout does actually come back in the final cut of the movie. Like you see him with it at some point. You just don't know why it's there because they cut out the context. But like as a way to rationalize why people could easily spread such a rumor, the resolution wasn't the best back then. I would assume that this probably took off with the home release, like when it came to VHS. So like it was probably hard for people to tell exactly what it was lurking back there. But like when you look at, updated resolutions of the movie, it's clear.
You can clearly tell.
Yes, that's not a boy.
Clearly tell what it is.
It's not a ghost. Yeah. And I remember seeing like, low res, early day of YouTube. You remember like the early days of YouTube. That was not high quality stuff. It's like 144p.
Very much do.
So it's easy. You can easily pass it off.
I believe.
They do.
If anybody wants to watch this in 144p,
I mean, you won't have to worry about buffering. If it buffers during 144p, you have the worst Wi-Fi on the planet.
In
But
the gaming world, we call that McDonald's Wi-Fi.
McDonald's Wi-Fi. Okay, I didn't know that. See, he knows that. He games.
Yes, in the gaming world, it's called who's on this. When your game is lagging like crazy, you ask who has this McDonald's 10-cent Wi-Fi, and McDonald's Wi-Fi is free, so technically 10-cent Wi-Fi should actually be better.
Free Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Free Wi-Fi.
But yeah, the movie itself, though, another way to debunk besides, HD resolution now, the film, it was filmed on a soundstage. So a boy couldn't have died there. Because that was the legend that caught on, was that a boy died in that house and that was his ghost. But it's not a real house. It was a soundstage. So that's couldn't have happened.
So that makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that one. Good. Okay. Good little spooky ghost story. 0 for 2. You're 0 for 2 right now. So let's move on to this next one. So real urban legend or one I made up? The movie Liar Liar was written after the writers saw the result of the O.J. Simpson trial and were so pissed at Johnny Cochran, they wrote a movie about a lawyer being forced to tell the truth. So is that a real urban legend or did I make that up? I did make that up. Yes, that's not true.
That's actually a very clever one, though, because, there's always the joke for lawyers, right? It's like, how do lawyers sleep? Let's see if you know the answer, actually. That's a classic joke.
With their boss in Liar Liar.
Well, yes, in that particular movie. In the joke, it's they lie on one side, then they lie on the other.
Yep, I get it now.
Or in a Meghan Trainor song, you could do it because their lips are moving.
Curtis is not impressed.
He's a very huge Meghan Trainor fan. He loves you, Meghan.
We do not. He speaks for himself. Anywho,
I do love you, Junie, though. Junie's great.
Junie, I hope you're okay. So the only note that I took down for this fake one were the actual names of the writers were Paul Guay and Stephen Mazur. That's all I took down for that. Because it's a fake one, and Liar Liar
shout out to them for
is a classic. Movie. Yes, and shout out to Jim Carrey for making their material work and probably adding a lot of his own because he's him.
This pen is.
Oh, there's actually a
blue.
Well, it actually writes black, but it's a blue pen. The color of this pen is. That's okay.
Also.
Well, I'm going to move on to the next one. You got to tell me if this one... You know the rules at this point. I'm just going to go for it. Okay. According to an urban legend...
Go ahead.
According to an urban legend, during the production of Mary Poppins, they couldn't properly get all the furniture to move during the spoonful of sugar sequence, so they allowed the room to be possessed by an aggressive poltergeist and agitated it to the point where it would disrupt the furniture the way the filmmakers wanted without the need for special effects. An exorcist was kept on set to make sure the poltergeist was controlled, and they completely exorcised the room after production ended, but not before Matthew Garber, who played Michael Banks, was injured by a closing closet door. This production sequence was kept a Hollywood secret for years, and it served as a partial inspiration for the movie Poltergeist. So is that a real urban legend, or did I make that one up?
That's a real urban legend.
I made that one up.
It's too specific.
I made that one up.
That's too specific.
It is not too specific.
I was like, there's no way. I was like, that one's too specific for it to be made up.
Yeah, and like...
He's a clever guy, but...
Dude, but doing this... creating fake urban legends was like fun, but so much more challenging than I thought it would be. Because it's like making up something that is fake and that still has to sound fake because you know it's fake, but could also be not something that could happen, but something that people could believe happened. It was just all of these little things that I had to get past in my mind to decide that it was good enough. And apparently that one was good enough because it got you.
You're in this like little limbo area, this purgatory, if you might say. Purgatory.
It was
of lies.
It's very rewarding that one got you.
He lies.
I lies. Yeah, but Mary Poppins, classic movie.
Or, actually,
My
quoting
favorites.
Les Miserables, liar! when Gavroche, Gavroche responds to Inspector Javert, and he's like, "Don't worry, they're not going to attack until it's light." And then little Gavroche comes out of nowhere, liar! And I'm like, also, he's like the only one with like this like random accent in this French movie, and it's like, where's your accent coming from?
Who actually had, was it only the comic relief that had French accents in Les Mis?
Yeah, he's the only, him and then the Thénardier. But I guess Gavroche is not really that, well, he's kind of a comic relief in the sense that he's like the little kid, but like, spoiler alert for Les Mis, a movie that won, an Oscar.
A movie that came out like, almost 13 years ago. So like, and based on a play that's been out for decades. So
correct. No, 2013? 2013?
I think it came out 2012.
2012.
And then it won the Oscars the next year. Yeah.
In 2013 for Anne Hathaway, which I still am mad at. I'm still very mad about that Oscar performance. Not the sense for the performance. She did a great job. But this is the hill. This is one of the hills. Anne Hathaway won an Oscar for portraying Fantine in Les Miserables. Yes, Les Miserables 2012. I've seen that movie 17 times. Don't judge me. But she was in the movie for 30 minutes. She was beating out Sally Fields in the movie Lincoln, and Sally Fields as Mary Todd Lincoln is in the movie Lincoln longer than Lincoln. And he wins the Oscar for Best Actor. Great job. You did great, Daniel. But are you kidding me?
Dude, there have been
movie for 30 minutes.
There have been so many Oscar performances that have won Oscars less than Anne Hathaway's time on screen. Like there have been several that have won that had
really
less than 30 minutes. Oh yeah, I think the Judi Dench won an Oscar for like 5.5 minutes of screen time in Shakespeare in Love.
Well, that's Dame Judi Dench. Like,
yeah,
that's a different.
And it was also Harvey Weinstein doing some very seedy things, not relating to what he went to jail for, to make that movie win more Oscars. But we don't have to talk about that.
We're not going to talk about that.
We don't.
But the point I make is Mary Todd Lincoln is in the movie longer than Lincoln. I just want to make sure that is important.
It's not about
like
the
time.
JFK
movie.
It's not about the time. It's about how you use it.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we're gonna move on. Yeah, we gotta move on. All right, so let me know what you think about this one. The actress who was killed by being painted gold in the movie Goldfinger actually died after shooting the real scene because of skin suffocation, the same way her character died in the movie. Is that a real urban legend?
That's a real urban legend.
That is true. That is a real urban legend. And by true, I mean it's an actual urban legend. It didn't actually happen, of course. So like
per
that
the
one,
definition of urban legend.
Yes, like that one caught steam for one thing. There wasn't an internet, no IMDb, which isn't always reliable, by the way. You can't really look up actors' credits, but people didn't see her much after that movie in other movies. She didn't have a lot of recognizable credits, and very few after. So they were like, "Oh, she must be dead." No, she didn't actually die. For one thing, skin suffocation is not real. Getting painted gold and your skin suffocating, and that's how you die, that can't happen.
If it could, Elphaba or Wicked would have murdered
Cynthia
many people.
Cynthia would
Idina
not
Menzel
be a really good dancer.
A long time ago.
Adela Menzel.
Correct.
And
Adele Dazeem is dead.
And Cynthia would no longer be a really good dancer.
Or singer.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
There we go.
Cynthia, she's a really cool girl
dancer,
now. Cynthia.
Boogie to the groove now.
Boogie to the groove now.
All right, but moving on with this one. So that movie actually created, what can you say? That movie actually created its own urban legend by making people think you could die by getting your skin painted.
Yeah.
Which,
maybe like skin. You could maybe get some like skin poisoning if it's on there forever.
well, yeah, I mean, you got to get it off of there.
I mean,
but
not like forever, but like yeah.
But they claimed that in the movie, they claimed that her skin suffocated, like it couldn't breathe because it had paint on it, which is not the case.
No, your pores would you would probably sweat.
Yeah,
that
it
doesn't
would
make
adjust.
sense. I'm not a doctor, but
yeah. So like there's that. But like people did claim her lack of recognizable credits afterwards as verification, but actually, she had over a dozen credits afterwards, just none as memorable as being in a James Bond movie. And she actually, as a lot of people do, retired from acting to raise a family. You know, a lot of actresses have done it, and a lot of actors have done it as well. But, and this is fun, she actually showed up to the 2012 premiere of Skyfall, honoring her role, dressed in a dress reminiscent of her fate in that Bond movie.
Nice.
Yeah, and that was
Skyfall,
50
that was,
years. 48 years after Goldfinger came out. But yeah, Skyfall
was Adele's first Oscar.
That was Adele's first. That was James Bond's first Oscar for a song. And it never won until Skyfall.
Do all of them have songs?
Every single, except the first one. Dr. No is just the theme song. And every Bond movie afterwards has had an original song played at the beginning of it. And the only one that has won, I think only 3 have won an Oscar. It started with Skyfall, and then Spectre also won the Oscar. That was Sam Smith.
Writings on the Wall.
Yes. And then Billie Eilish won the Oscar for No Time to Die. So we're on
so good.
Starting with Adele. Adele started a streak. If everybody, myself included, who wants Ray to do the next James Bond song, and I want that to happen, maybe the streak will continue, and she'll win. She'll have her Oscar-winning Tears will win an actual Oscar. I'm proud of that.
Ray who?
The singer. You should check her out. She's good.
Oh, I've never heard of her.
When she performed at the Oscars. She performed Skyfall at the Oscars and killed it. So, yeah.
I don't know if I know this person.
Pretty good stuff. You should check her out.
All right.
Worth It, Oscar-winning Tears, Escapism. Those are some really good ones of hers. But anyway, let's move on. Jordan Peele didn't write Get Out as a metaphor. He wrote it because he found out that procedure in the movie had happened to Kanye West, and he couldn't say anything directly about it, so he made Get Out as a covert way to tell everyone. Further evidence was provided during his Golden Globes acceptance speech when he referred to the movie as a documentary instead of a comedy. Is that a real urban legend?
You made that up.
I did make that up, yeah.
Yeah, there's no way.
Good job, yeah.
Now, did that happen to Kanye? Maybe.
I don't know.
But
I mean, I would believe it at this point.
Honestly, you could believe anything in these days.
Yeah, this is what one of the points of this whole game is. It's like people would believe anything.
Crazier things have happened.
Yeah.
Crazier things have happened.
And we're about to get into a couple of crazy things. I've got 3 more for you.
All right.
Hopefully we can just blow through these. Oh, by the way, if at some point at this point in time you have not seen Get Out, please see Get Out. It's so good.
Oh, 100%. Actually, Speaking of Get Out, I don't know if you've ever heard of this. So the fact is, this is a real thing. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Get Out won Best Original Screenplay. That's a real thing, not an urban legend. That actually happened.
That happened.
The argument is, because it was nominated for Best Picture as well.
Yes.
And the argument is, obviously, Best Picture has lots to do with... It's like Best Record and Best Song at the Grammys, right? It has to do with everything.
Yes.
Best Original Screenplay is just the script.
Yes, just the script.
Yeah.
Only the script.
So, in theory, the actual best story, right? Mm-hmm. The best movie was Get Out, even though it didn't win Best Picture.
You could look at it as such. I think that's a valid way to look at when someone wins for a screenplay award, because it means that the movie that they wrote was the best written movie.
Correct.
So,
like on paper, it's like with Black Klansman. It didn't win for Best Picture,
but it won for Best Screenplay.
It won for Best Original Screenplay.
No, adapted. We went over this last time. It was adapted.
Adapted.
That's the second in a row where Roger has thought it was an original screenplay for Black Klansman. But
it's based off of a book.
It is based off of a book, a memoir, actually. Yeah, true story.
Oh, the guy who did. Yeah, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Next.
So, the hoverboards in Back to the Future Part 2 were real, and they weren't sold to the general public because parents groups across America found them too dangerous to release. Is that a real urban legend, or did I make that up?
That's real.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real. That's a real urban legend. And
I've never seen that movie.
But any of them?
Nope.
Oh, wow. Okay. I thought you at least saw the first one.
I just know about 10.24 gigawatts. Like he's like a weird doctor, and he does like a weird voice.
1.21 gigawatts. Yeah.
1.21 gigawatts.
Marty, we have to go back to the future. That's my unrehearsed
Roll credits.
Christopher Lloyd.
Roll credits. Roll credits.
Yeah, but honestly, Back to the Future Part 2 is
hold
my...
on. Wait, hold on. Whoa. Christopher Lloyd as a dude from Star Wars?
Star Wars?
Isn't he in that Dooku?
No. Christopher Lloyd is not in a Star Wars movie. Are you thinking of Christopher Lee?
That's what I'm thinking.
Sir Christopher Lee, who was awesome. Rest in peace. But no, Christopher Lloyd was Angels in the Outfield.
I like that movie.
Yeah. I rewatched it recently, and like even myself, who was no longer religious, actually still really enjoyed it.
Angels.
But yeah, Christopher
you don't
Lloyd.
Have to be religious to like angels.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, because
they're actually probably terrifying if we actually ever saw them in real life.
Yeah, maybe we couldn't
from the
process
Bible. They're
that.
like, "Do not be afraid," and it's like it's like, "Do not be afraid."
Don't tell me what to do.
And I'm like, this is the most terrifying thing I have ever seen in my life.
But yeah, Christopher Lloyd. Oh, Addams Family movies. The second one is better. He plays Uncle Fester, kills it. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Judge Doom.
Oh,
scary guy. Yeah, great movie. But man, that got me as a kid. Ugh. But yeah, I'd say Back to the Future Part 2 is my least favorite. I think I might like the
popular because they've made a musical about it.
Okay, yeah, they got to cool it with those. But anyway, I think Back to the Future Part 3 might be my favorite one because the first one is great. There is some mother-son stuff that happens because he goes back and sees his mom in the past and she's attracted to him, and that's weird. There's none of that in the third one.
Oedipus action. Oedipus action.
Nothing in the third one about that, but I'll explain the urban legend to you. They were definitely fake, the hoverboards in the movie. And this is a rare film urban legend that was actually started by the filmmaker himself, Robert Zemeckis. Because he stated in a behind-the-scenes TV special promoting Back to the Future Part 2, quote, "They've been around for years. It's just that parents groups have not let the toy manufacturers make them, and we got our hands on some, and we put them in the movie." So people saw that and took it to heart, and that urban legend has persisted. And Robert Zemeckis himself says that he has still asked to this day if they were real hoverboards, and he brought that on himself because he's the one who said that.
Well, sometimes you gotta tell the what is it? You gotta tell the truth or wait. Controversy creates cash.
What Eric? Okay, Eric Bischoff. But like,
controversy creates cash.
And like he said it with kind of a smile on his face, but when I watched the clip, it was like, I don't know. He didn't say it with enough of a smile. It looked like he could have been. He was trying to be sarcastic. It didn't look sarcastic enough. That's why he's behind the camera, not in front of it. But this movie took place in the year 2015. And so there's a lot of like, predictions they make about our society. There is one other smaller urban legend that this film spawned, that Back to the Future Part 2 predicted both the development of a Miami baseball team and its victory in the World Series in 1997. But that is not true. This is what actually happened. The film's team was the Miami Gators, which the team now known as the Miami Marlins started as the Florida Marlins in 1993. They didn't become the Miami Marlins until 2012. They won their 2 World Series as the Florida Marlins in 1997 and 2003. And the film never actually stated that a Miami team won the World Series at all, let alone in 1997. The film stated that the Cubs swept the Miami Gators in 2015 to win their first World Series, bless you, since 1908. The film was actually off by 1 year in predicting that accomplishment for the Cubs, though. They won their first World Series since 1908 in 2016. The movie said they did it in 2015.
Oh,
so
wow.
they were that close.
Go Cubs.
Do you know who actually did predict it? Parks and Rec. Because they do a time jump to 2017. And one of the characters, when they visit Chicago, says, yeah, everything's been pretty nice here recently since the Cubs won the series or something like that. So they didn't say which specific year, but we're going to assume it just happened. So Parks and Rec predicted it.
Interesting.
All right, but I'm going to move on to the next one. There's 2 left.
2 left. All right, let's rock and roll.
Tell me what you know about this.
What's my score? Wait, what's my score? What is my final score?
Right now, you are 4 for 7.
Okay.
All right, so in the movie Singin' in the Rain, during the scene where Gene Kelly sings the titular song, the filmmakers added milk to the rainwater to make it show up better on camera. Is that a real urban legend or is that fake?
Real urban legend.
Final answer?
Yes.
Good job. That's a real urban legend.
Because that would make sense that they would think that. So that's an old movie. Never seen it, but that's an old movie.
It holds up pretty well, actually. It's really good.
I need to see that in Casablanca.
Yeah,
still.
And the humor in that movie is actually really holds up too.
Isn't that the I Want My Close-Up movie?
No. Think it was Sunset Boulevard. I'm not sure. If you want to look that up while I'm explaining this urban legend, you can do that. But here's the story behind this, which this one was one of the most fun to research because I went down a bit of a rabbit hole and it was nice. So there is not a drop of milk. There's not a drop of milk in that rainwater. The water enhancement was achieved through very skilled lighting. Cinematographer Hal Rawson had to backlight all the rain because if you light rain from the front, you can't really see it. But he also had to put front light on Gene Kelly at the same time. So it was very tricky. It was very tricky, but expertly accomplished. It was just a guy who knew what he was doing. Both Gene Kelly and his co-director, because Gene Kelly directed the movie, him and his co-director Stanley Donen refuted the milk claim. They said it didn't happen. There was actually another urban legend of that scene where that the scene was shot in one take through the use of a multicam setup, which that is also false. It took 2 to 3 days to shoot that scene. And this is how I found out a lot about the background to this scene, because Professor Kelly Marshall of DePaul University, who is apparently obsessed with Gene Kelly, she's written a lot on him. She researched this myth and traced the origins of the myth to a column in the Chicago Tribune, back to Chicago, from 1976 by reporter Marilyn Preston, who was describing a tour of the Universal Studios that she was going on. The excerpt she provided from her column in her symposium titled Milk and Mythology in Singin' in the Rain reads, quote, "Another set of bleachers faced a mock-up of the old Ironside set, and we learned about wild walls, fourth walls, hot sets, and why fake movie set rain has powdered milk added to it so it shows up at night. And then in brackets, next time you see Gene Kelly, think of that famous tune, Singin' in the Milk." The reporter appeared to force the connection without it being confirmed within the tour itself. So this appears to be the first instance of that urban legend, and at least according to Professor Marshall's research. So if you're wondering where it came from, that, according to this professor, is the first instance of people claiming that milk was used in Singin' in the Rain when it actually wasn't.
So what would it have been? Like milk instead of water, or just a water and milk?
Well,
So
it's
like
not like it
watered down
wasn't.
milk.
It's not like it never happened in the filmmaking industry. Like they would put I guess it was put the powder in milk powder in the water so that it would turn it more white, so you could see it on camera. But that's not what they did in Singing in the Rain. It was, like I said, all the credit goes to a very talented cinematographer named Hal Rawson.
So this goes to my question. Of the most recent movies that you can think of, right? Like, obviously, I have one in my mind right now, but this isn't actually my favorite cinematographer. But of the most recent cinematographers that I can think of, I can't remember their names, unfortunately. What movie has the best cinematography that you remember right now? For me, my pick's 1917.
1917? That's a good one, man. But honestly, for me, I think it's Nosferatu.
Never saw it.
So
and won't
good.
see it.
So good. He's not a
Don't do
horror
scary.
guy.
Don't do scary.
But man, it's such a well-made movie. Probably
Saw stuff.
But also, I really liked the cinematography in The Substance. But I was more of a fan of the directing and of The Substance than the cinematography. But Nosferatu, Robert Eggers, great director, certainly pioneered the genre of white people losing their mind in the past. But he knows how to shoot a film, and his cinematographers know how to frame a film. So for me, it's Nosferatu. All right, so let's finish this out. We got one more left.
Last one.
Let's see. You are 5 for 8, so it looks like you're going to finish with a positive score. But let's go ahead and...
we get this right. Let's find out.
Yes. So, during the production of Megan, or Mithrigan, if you want to call it that, they built an animatronic Megan.
Mithrigan. Like Fant 4 Stick.
Yeah, like Fant 4 Stick.
Fant 4 Stick 4. Fant 4 Stick 4.
During the production of Megan, they built an animatronic Megan to shoot certain scenes, but the animatronic malfunctioned shortly into production, severely injuring a stagehand during a scene where Megan used a knife. So essentially, there was a real Megan. Is that a real or a fake urban legend?
You made that up.
I did make that up. Good job. Wow. You were on a roll.
I had to figure out what your mindset was towards the middle, but I figured it out.
Well, good job. You read me really well. You're good at that. But if anyone is curious as to
for a very long time.
How you have known me for a very long time, yeah. In a few years, it'll be literally half our lives. You know what? I said a few years. It's actually more like 5 years. That's a little more.
Wait, really?
Yeah, because when we both turn 36, we'll have known each other half our lives because we met at 18.
Oh, wow.
But, we don't have to think about that now. We're thinking about this moment right now.
No, let's not think about
where we're going to talk about how Megan was actually brought to life. I didn't take this many notes down.
I never saw this movie.
It's good. I think you'd actually like this one. It's not too scary.
Is it scary? Okay.
It's funny.
Is it gory?
No. There's an unrated version that has more blood in it. That's the one that I watched, and more F-bombs. I say go for that one. But it's not actually that scary. It's actually pretty funny. It's rather campy. But anyway,
I love campy humor.
The actual way that they brought Megan to life was they used 2 different animatronics for Megan, but neither of them were completely animatronic like Megan herself. And it's fun that I took all these down when this isn't even a real urban legend. I just really wanted to talk about how Megan came to life.
About Megan. They
usually used close-ups for the scenes. The face was animatronic while a puppeteer physically moved her head and body. They programmed her to lip-sync the audio that would later be dubbed in by actress Jenna Davis. A physical stunt performer was used for scenes that a puppet couldn't handle. That was dancer Amy Donald. And she worked with movement coaches Jed Brophy, that's his name, Jed Brophy.
Jed Brophy, not Jen Brophy.
No, Jed Brophy, which sounds like an award you're given at a frat house. And Luke Hawker. And Luke Hawker was the other one. To perfect Megan's agility and robotic movement. So she worked with movement coaches to help get more robotic. Amy Donald actually developed a TikTok dance that went viral herself with the help of her dance teacher, Kylie Norris, and the film's director, Gerard Johnstone. And the dance was going to be a surprise, and the filmmakers were unsure about using it in the trailer, but Universal's marketing team knew what they were doing, kept it in the trailer, and then it went viral, and Megan made a lot of money for a theater movie after COVID.
Wow.
That's why there's a sequel.
Yeah, I literally saw the trailer, and I was like, nope, not for me.
Which Nope came out the year before. But
Also a good Jordan Peele movie.
I saw the trailer and I'm like, this is either going to be like one of the worst things ever, or it's going to really work. And then, Anna and I saw it for ourselves, and it really worked. We thought it really worked. And like I said, it developed enough of a following that it's getting a sequel this year.
I thought it was going to be like a combination of Chucky and Orphan.
Not quite. Chucky, I can kind of see. Orphan, not really. I also think, and I'll close with this, I guess, there should be a lot of parents who should watch Megan, because one of the main... Bless you?
Thank you.
Okay. One of the main messages of the movie deals with letting technology raise your kids. So, yeah.
I say to do it.
I say
do it.
I say don't do it. I say technology obviously has to be a part of their lives. There's no getting around it, but you need to make sure that they're not relying too much on it, because then they don't develop the proper social skills. They're not ready. They're just not ready to be in
the world?
a society. Yeah, they're not ready to be in the world. Yeah.
Everything's being automated anyway. The robots are taking over. Like Squidward said, the robots are taking over the Navy.
All right. Well, you finished 6 for 9. So that means
that is a 66.6.
Yep, 66.6 repeating. But, there were less questions in this one, so like it was a little, dodgy. But no, well done, because that's a majority. Still got
Thank you.
You got every 2 out of 3 correct. Next time we will be playing a game that I will also be able to play rather than just running the game. Next time, we decided we're going to do...
yes.
We're going to do Whose Tagline Is It Anyway?, where we have to guess the taglines of movies, and it's going to be really fun. I was able to do a lot of research on that today, and I have so many options, and it's going to be great. I have so many options for you. I can't wait to see what you do for me, but...
I think I'll be good if it's what I think they are, and then for you... I just don't know if any of these movies have taglines, but maybe it's just because I'm not paying attention.
Well, like one source that I used, which I don't condone, I did every now and then click on IMDb, because sometimes people will put the taglines of the movies in there. And then I also tried to Google that tagline to make sure it was an actual one. But for clarity, tagline is like on a movie poster when it's like, liar, liar, and the tagline was, trust me. That's also on the poster. It's like the little words on the poster that aren't the title. So It's like that.
What's happening in Thunderbolts. I don't know if you've seen this.
The
title is Thunderbolts with the asterisk. The asterisk is the tagline, and the tagline is Avengers are not available.
I think that counts as a tagline. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would count that as a tagline.
It's literally an asterisk. It's literally the asterisk. It's
a lot
Thunderbolts
more
asterisk.
It's a lot more interactive than a typical tagline, but I would consider it to be one, I'd say.
Correct.
But don't look up too many of the Marvel taglines. You just know that because it's recent. Because it's very recent.
I just know that because that movie's coming out and I will be seeing it.
Yes, so will we. We'll probably end up doing a 1-sentence review portion on that one.
Probably.
All right. Well,
I can't wait. That'll be fun.
It'll be really fun.
All right. This has been fun.
It's been real.
It's been fun.
It's been real fun.
It's been real fun.
That's his thing. That's what he always says when we hang out. But now I'll say my thing.
My friends would say it's been freal. It's been freal.
Well, now I'll say what I say. If you liked it, tell your friends. If you hated it, tell your enemies. I'm Curtis.
I'm Roger.
And this has been Cinema Game Night.
Thanks for joining us. Bye.